Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Bluedragonfive here.
And Jacob Wile.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we find ourselves in the midst of Disney's big venture into the world of streaming, having started a war in the process, we thought it'd be nice to stay up to date on the ever growing catalog and rule on what's a must or a bust on Disney Plus.
And tonight we are discussing She-Hulk Attorney at Law. The People versus Emil Blonsky.
Episode 3.
Episode 3.
Yeah. Yeah, Jacob, what did you think of this one?
It's For me it's probably one of the weaker ones so far, even though there's only three of them to be honest. I mean, it's like it had an interesting plot and then a subplot that could have been excised entirely.
It
If
was
you
a
ask.
fun subplot, though. At least it wasn't one of those kind of draggy subplots.
I know it was fun, but I mean that itself probably could have been a whole episode.
Fair point.
Like I said, these two episodes could have like filled the entire plot on their own, but then they're just like, no, we have to rush through it. I mean, neither of them like they're both half baked, and then you add them together instead of adding up to a whole bake, it ended up being more quarter baked. If you get what I'm saying.
I kind of get what you're saying. I don't know about the half baked thing because the abomination trial is kind of I'll save it for when I get to my thoughts. Do you have anything else you wanted to say on the episode?
I mean, I thought it was a pretty fun episode. And I mean, overall, I mean, I do continue to like the lighthearted nature of it, even if some of the jokes and commentary really don't land that well.
Right.
So, but other than that, I mean, it's probably the thing. Had some. I will admit though, it did have some strong points to it, so it has that going for it.
Okay. Yeah, this episode seems to confirm a theory I had with this show. It seems to. Again, we're only 3 episodes in, so I can't really make a full on assessment of this. But if I were a betting man, just based on this third episode and how kind of our plots move along here, my theory was that not the most creative theory, mind you, but in general, I thought that, okay, so we have 9 episodes to work with, ergo, every 3 episodes is an arc in a 3 act structure, one could argue. Which I mean, it's kind of what we've had with some of the other Disney Plus shows, but more like increments of 6, and kind of with 2 episodes, kind of being an act, like Moon Knight, for example. Moon Knight relatively is like every 2 episodes is kind of an act in the movie that is presenting.
While Moon Knight isn't probably the best Disney Plus show, it's probably the best executed in terms of story structure.
I would fully agree with that statement. Yes. So that's the thing. So here, my theory on how our kind of show is going to go here is that I feel like the first arc is okay. We have basically our origin and kind of the transition from unknown lawyer to public figure. I think that's kind of what the first 3 episodes are, and then we would go. I think the next 3 episodes are going to be kind of I speculate will be the kind of life as She-Hulk, basically mixing the two lives, just kind of She-Hulk, basically her getting more comfortable as She-Hulk, doing things as She-Hulk, like the dating and stuff. And then I'm thinking the last 3 episodes, which just again, kind of spitballing here, I think pretty safe to assume if we're getting 3 episodes of Daredevil, probably saved for the end. Now, if that happens, I'm thinking that'll be us facilitating. Okay, so we've done the origin on She-Hulk. We've established what our basics with these first 3 episodes. We're getting to know her as a character more and just having fun with her. And then by the end, it'll be okay. She-Hulk being the reluctant hero, becoming a superhero, and that'll be like her running into Daredevil and kind of making her in the super suit and all that sort of stuff. So that's where I think we're going in terms of our 3 acts and our 9 episodes.
It's entirely possible that they probably could have released all three of these episodes up front.
Jacob, that's the thing. If Disney was not focused on getting money and views and stuff, I think absolutely yes. In terms of, I think if they were more confidence in the brand, let's say, in terms of like, hey, we don't have to worry about this. One, we're making more money than God right now. Secondly, hey, people are going to watch this show. One, because She-Hulk, and plus we have all these other people, and to hedge our bets, we have Daredevil showing up at some point. People are going to watch this show, and in doing so, it's like, hey, we have it would have been like a huge chunk of their story. So I get why they didn't release 3 episodes, however, that would have been awesome though had they done that. It would have been, man, we have such
Well,
confidence in our story. We're going to give you like the first arc, the first act of our three acts.
I mean, what I meant was like do 3 episodes and then the whole individual episodes after that.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean though. That's what I'm saying. Like we do it like Amazon, where you release the first 3 episodes and then one a week. Yeah,
And we have a comment from Romello Malone.
yeah.
Episode 3 is good, and I still don't trust Blonsky.
Here's the thing. I kind of trust Blonsky. By the same token, I think it is eerie the whole seven soulmates thing. So that's a little untrustworthy how that's going. But I don't know. I'm leaning towards trusting him. I got to be honest at the end of this episode.
Well, I mean, he has Wong's words, so
That's what I'm saying. I mean, Wong's backing him, and the fact that no, like Wong, believe me, if anyone could have controlled this guy, it would have been Wong. And like the fact that Blonsky of his own volition wanted to go back to prison.
yeah. Well, then again, it could be a ploy to get people to see him, and as a way to get out of prison, of course.
That is also it's a very solid theory as well.
I mean, that wouldn't be the first time. That wouldn't. I mean, it's a common arc and strategy for criminals to do, like pretend to be reformed and then go back to doing what they did before.
Assuming the speculation is not true, which in this case, for these purposes, I'm hoping is not the case, because if Blonsky does get out, we know who would easily recruit him, the Thunderbolts. So because there's been a reported lineup announced, which I don't think holds a lot of water, but that lineup did not include the Abomination. I would like the Abomination to be on the Thunderbolts because I think it'd be a welcome addition to that team. I'm not gonna say he's a deal breaker, but it'd be nice for him to be on the team.
I don't think they really announced who was in the Thunderbolts.
I know that's the thing. It's been like someone put out like a list of like the Thunderbolts, which sounded confirmed, but I highly doubt that it's confirmed. So yeah, pretty sure it's not official or anything. So yeah,
Like, I won't trust it until I hear an official source from Marvel or
I concur. That's why I'm saying I'm hoping there might be room for the Abomination,
or unless it's like a reputable source that like Hollywood Reporter stuff like that.
Right. Anyway, so just one other thing to note before we just get into the weeds with it here. Yeah, so the interesting thing is we had seemingly our big trial 3 episodes in versus like Bill having it be like the case of the season. Like I think we were kind of thinking for a bit.
Yeah, and it's resolved fairly quickly too.
Now, something to bear in mind that I found quite interesting is we kind of took a bit of a Better Call Saul approach thing to things here, and what I mean by that is a Better Call Saul never really did a full-on traditional like Law and Order trial because it'd been done to death and everyone their mother has seen like, okay, you go in there, you got the jury, and we make our big speechifying and all that sort of stuff. And again, it's kind of been done to death in all the legal procedural dramas, which is essentially, I think, in a clumsy way, our writers have been saying kind of in the press lately, is like, we didn't want to do like the average legal show, which again, the cast, the writers on Better Call Saul, I think, summed up a lot better. Like Saul Goodman's a lawyer who would like settle on the courthouse steps before the trial, like that sort of thing. And
well, it's still kind of funny that they have a better grasp of lawyers than the writers of this show do.
Well, absolutely, yes. So that's the thing, though. By that same token, a la Better Call Saul, we don't have a full on trial for the big Abomination case, despite it being called the People versus Emil Blonsky. This is a parole hearing, which is something like Better Call Saul would approach. Sort of like hey, it's just it's not a trial, but it's something else in the legal venue that our lawyer character would handle.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So yeah, we built the case nicely, and I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. I think we're building our cast very nicely here. Like I think we got a good taste of some of our supporting characters in this episode. And again, I'm falling in love with Tatiana Maslany as She-Hulk. She is fantastic and getting better each episode, I think. And I'm intrigued by the end. There's a big tease at the end that has me not the end, which I know a lot of people are talking about, but I mean before the post-credit scene. I'm really intrigued by the end.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about that, which is probably the only reason why they included it in the first place.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm not focusing on that per se here. I'm just meaning like the big kind of cliffhanger we have at the end of this episode does have me rather excited. We're going to speculate on that later. So
but we're not talking about the post credits scene because honestly, the less said about that, the better.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll broach it very, very quickly, but yeah, not now, but
Yeah, later.
Yeah, sure. So. Okay, I guess just getting into the episode, by all means, folks, you want to direct some conversation, by all means, put in the comments, and we will be inclined to start there. We'll just jump around a little bit. Until then, I think maybe a linear fashion. So, So basically, this episode explains the Shang-Chi scene where Wong is fighting Abomination in the underground fighting ring.
He was doing it to help his training for Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, yeah. Which, by the way, in turn, we did get some kind of for the most part, we have some nailing down where exactly we are in the MCU timeline during She-Hulk because we're after Shang-Chi very obviously, and we're after No Way Home because of the whole Wong having his advice about no, Miss Walters, I know what you're thinking. Memory erase spell won't do it. It's not good. It's highly unethical. Yeah, I love that she agreed with that too. I love she'd be like, no, Spider-Man, what are you thinking? No.
I mean, although she probably would try and erase the fact that she was She-Hulk. To be honest,
I mean, for her, but not like in everyone else's minds, though. I mean, she's not that. Yeah.
she'd probably use it though. In all honesty, she probably would. He's like, oh, maybe I could cut to Doctor Strange and get a way to do that.
Maybe, but I don't know. I like the fact that she was, and again, kind of like in Civil War, like she was against. I think she was technically against Spider-Man in Civil War, so that's kind of. I'm not saying it's the same thing. I'm just saying the fact that I think she would maybe be more inclined to like the government control and stuff, and again because of the whole Book of American Law instead of Book of Ashanti, let's call it.
And
Okay, yes. Yeah, so that's the thing. Should we just jump to that now, Jacob? You think?
yeah,
Okay, so big thing I'm really excited about that end of the episode. So the big question is, one, we send the Wrecking Crew after She-Hulk, and I've been really hyped for the. I've been hyped for the Wrecking Crew ever since the Netflix shows. I've always wanted, like, what's a down to earth villain we could have in a show like Luke Cage or something? The Wrecking Crew, absolutely. And we never did it, but we finally did, and gave them like the. We even tied them to Thor like they are in the comics. Like they have Asgardian like construction weapons, which is nice. It makes sense with New Asgard, given they would be kind of like retrofitted Asgardian magic to kind of more construction-y based things. Anyway, so we have a little Wrecking Crew fight, which again hits our action mandate, which we seem to have with every episode. But Jacob, actually thinking about it, did we have any action scenes in the last episode? Did we have a fight at all?
I mean, actually, I don't think we did.
Huh. Well, I guess the closest thing we had that doesn't count at all. By the way, is like it would be Abomination, that little clip from Shang-Chi. So, so yeah, okay, fine. I guess there's not an action man on every episode, but we had kind of our cool mandated action here with the Wrecking Crew fight. But we got a big bit of plot here. Is that one of them, Thunderball, was instructed to try and get a sample of her blood, which did not go well because basically Hulk's skins are impenetrable unless by something like the Abomination coming at you.
Yep.
So so two things to mention before. I'm sorry, I know I'm dragging this out, but I have a point here. So with each of the MCU Disney Plus shows, yet again we seem to be with this teeing up another mystery aspect, which I kind of a part of me is rolling my eyes at, but I think it's different in this case. I think it's different because the number of suspects all been established, have all been rather established, and it's a limit of three. So I think it's a lot less amorphous or like Mysterio or Mephisto. I think it's a lot simpler.
You're about to say Mysterio.
Yeah, yes, I was, Jacob. Thank you for pointing that out. Yes.
Sorry.
So yeah, so it's very there's a whole Mephisto thing where no, this case it's much simpler. It's three suspects. I think the best suspect that would be the coolest reason would the coolest suspect, the leader, as Romello has pointed out. Because we know the leader, Samuel Stearns, big interest in gamma radiated blood. My assumption is that he escaped during Winter Soldier, like he was captured by Shield, and possibly we don't know if he was put in the prison or not, but the leader might be around somewhere. The Blip, who knows what happened to him.
Yeah.
Suspect number two, I think, is the most exciting, though. This is a really good theory people have had. I don't know if you heard about this, Jacob. Kingpin.
And Kingpin would be an interesting one.
There were two things released recently two. So Vincent D'Onofrio posted something recently. Posted this image of like kind of a container, like a liquid container, like you'd carry like a propane or gas or like not basically it could be like a giant water jug, but like a kind of an industrial like oil drum sort of thing. Now it said Fisk on it, so I don't know if that's suggesting like Fisk Industries and everything, but the point being, chemicals being transported in relation to Wilson Fisk, and right now we know the Kingpin is most likely blind and trying to fix that.
Hmm.
Now, the theory.
Is he actually blind, or is that just a
Well, we
front?
don't know. In the comics, when Echo shot him, he was blinded. So that's the running assumption. The point being, he's injured somehow, assumedly blinded, but somehow he's injured, and he's going to have to come back from that somehow. And again, we don't know all the ins and outs. This is the running theory, assuming he is blinded or deafened or what have you. He is impaired in some way, shape, or form. He might need a way of finding himself back, and people have theorized two ways potentially of how he does that. He uses a kind of a discount super soldier serum, like we had established, in Falcon Winter Soldier with kind of the next gen, kind of like the power broker thing. Or potentially, if radiation gave essentially irradiated chemicals gave Matt Murdock his abilities and gave him his sight back in a way. What if gamma radiated blood was the Kingpin's fast track healing solution here?
like, like now I have to deal with two lawyers.
Yeah, yeah. So that's an interesting theory, and it would give cause for why Matt Murdock would go. If in theory, if he went all the way from New York to again, we're assuming She-Hulk's going to New York, but otherwise, why would Daredevil go to L.A.? I think the Kingpin trying to steal She-Hulk's blood would be a good enough reason for him to go to L.A.
Probably a good reason.
And the third suspect,
He definitely wouldn't go there for leapfrog.
yeah, well, yeah, unless there's like Leapfrog's like somehow very deeply in relation to Kingpin, he's to beat the crap out of Leapfrog to find Fisk. I don't know. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Regardless,
Like,
uh,
behold, my newest associate, leapfrog.
God. So
It's like I can imagine Vincent D'Onofrio saying that and still delivering it with gravitas.
oh, of course, yeah. I mean, if anyone can sell that, it's got to be D'Onofrio. So I hear you're a man of impressive talent. You can leap great distances over a tall building, single bound.
How did I know you turned that into a Superman reference?
Well, I mean, leapfrog.
Yeah,
So anyway,
yeah,
another
yeah, yeah, folks. Superman couldn't originally fly. He had to leap.
yes. Anyway, so the third suspect, Power Broker, who was dealing in super soldier serum. So the next again a way of kind of it's someone in the business. Sharon Carter to be specific for the folks out there. So Sharon Carter might be the other contender here because she was making super soldiers, and we killed the golden goose there. She lost all the super soldier serums as the power broker. So this would be a way of giving supervillains powers, the gamma radiated blood. Again, best case leader, worst case, I'm thinking Sharon Carter, but still could play.
And what about Julia Louise Dreyfus' character?
That's another way of going, but you'd imagine she just want to get her hooks in on Abomination before like a whole army of super soldiers. But then again, I don't know. I guess it makes sense. So she could be a fourth one, sure.
It's probably the least likely of the bunch, but
Yeah, I mean, unless like her goal was to make a Red Hulk, which would be a way to go as well. So yeah.
who would the Red Hulk be? Since
Well, we'd have to find someone else clearly, but
it's like because clearly Thunderbolt Ross is dead.
well, yeah,
Unless they recast William Hurt.
that's the thing. Unless they recast them, so I mean, I don't know. It's unclear.
So,
I mean, we recast one Hulk actor already, so of all the people to recast, it would not be beyond the realm of comprehension.
as long as they don't recast Liv Tyler.
Right. Right. So, okay, so I guess backpedaling then.
Yes.
All right. So, anyways,
That was a lot of speculation we just did.
yep. Okay. So, basically, we got all the speculation out of the way. So, again, I'm thinking possibly Kingpin leader Sharon Carter. Who knows? So, the Shang-Chi thing is explained. Again, our timeline here. We're after No Way Home, but I do wonder. Do you think we're after Doctor Strange 2 before or possibly right before the very end? Because he when he shows up in a hurry and late, I wonder if did Multiverse of Madness delay Wong? Is that why he was late?
That's entirely possible. He didn't say why he was running late.
Yeah, they seem. A part of me was thinking, and again, I don't think the timelines would necessarily work on this. It's probably just after Doctor Strange 2 and or like way before that happens. But I kept thinking, what if like he has his little bow, sorcerer bow moment at the end of Multiverse of Madness, where like Doctor Strange finally bows at Wong, giving him like the nod essentially, and Wong right after that, Doctor Strange walks off is, oh, I'm running late.
I'd like to go to court.
Yep.
Oh, Wong.
I've got jury duty. Or, well, yeah.
Well, not jury duty.
I know. Parole. I got a parole hearing.
Like I get him if he said that, Doctor said, "You got parole."
I'll explain later, Stephen. I don't have time.
Doctor, the Sorcerer Supreme is a busy man.
Yep. Don't touch my books.
The Sorcerer Supreme is busy.
Yep. All right. So so that something we should call out. I love our fourth wall break so much in this. They keep getting better, and literally the way we shot this, I think the way we're shooting the fourth wall breaks as we keep going forward, we're getting more and more like the Deadpool movie, and I love it.
Yeah, she talked about this isn't going to be a cameo of the week. Like, remember, that's what she did. She like turned to talk to us like this isn't going to be like a cameo of the week, except for Hulk and Wong.
And just like well, except for Bruce and Blonsky and Wong.
Wong.
Just remember whose show this actually is, okay?
It's like yeah, she's like I know you're looking forward to Wong.
So I love that. Seriously, Baslani is just so electric to me in that moment. Like even before the She-Hulk, so I'm just saying I love where she's just like, there's a lot of charisma there, man. Just like I know you're all waiting, can't wait to see Wong. I don't blame you, but you know we're gonna get to it. It's not a cameo of the week sort. I don't know. I love she's bringing the energy and she's bringing the charm of the She-Hulk, man. I'm digging it.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's see. So again, the point of the episode is okay. So Wong has testimony that's going to because right now his parole is like he's facing like a prison breakout charge, which would gum up his parole that he's earned. And with this whole leaked video thing, Wong's testimony will basically explain everything and take full responsibility for the Blonsky breakout, which he willingly returned to his cell.
It is kind of weird though that concerning the maximum security, no one noticed that he was ever gone.
Yeah, that's the thing. I wonder if Wong worked some magic there or not. That is possibly what happened, but not a memory thing. But I think he just like worked on security tapes or something.
I mean, it's entirely possible. I mean, it's magic, so that's easy. That's so it can be explained that way. But
yeah, either that or it's like really lacks security.
That too.
Yeah, despite their really impressive little laser grid thing.
It's like yeah, we're good. It's like, do you think you'll be gone if we're or the guards like yeah, it's like, can we go to lunch for like 15 minutes? I'm sure he won't be going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, what's he gonna do? He's a model prison. He's gonna be in his cell. Let's grab some lunch, man. I want the new taco truck.
and then that's when Wong comes and takes him to the battle arena.
Yep, just 15 minutes. Just come on. Little fight. I'll send you back. Yeah.
Yeah, we can work that into our headcanon, I guess.
Oh, by the way, there's an Easter egg. I don't think it's as exciting as it could potentially be, but the prosecutor of the Abomination case is actually a comic book character. So the remember on the news you had like the guy we have like the media frenzy about the Abomination case and the whole She-Hulk's now like, in the narrative, and we kind of mock the critics of the show, like the whole like, do we need a She-Hulk and all that sort of stuff. We had the prosecutor of the Abomination case, and that guy is Gideon Wilson.
Yeah. Okay.
So Gideon Wilson in the comics, he's a lawyer as presented here, but he is, I believe, he's like a community leader and a lawyer and such. But the point being, he is the brother of Sam Wilson, the Falcon. Now, I given the fact that in Falcon Winter Soldier we gave Sam a sister, I'm just going to assume they're just going to not do any of that, and just going to it's like, okay, well, he just has a sister, and it's like a coincidence of another guy with the name Wilson. So
it's entirely possible.
That's what I think. But again, that's what they're pulling from the whole Gideon Wilson thing. It's kind of a deep cut, like, oh yeah, Sam had a brother. What do you know?
And definitely not as famous as Sam.
No. But I mean, I could buy like kind of integrity in the Wilson family with like a lawyer in the family. It'd be nice, but I don't quite buy it. So Dennis Bukowski. So this is kind of the douchey co-worker from the DA's office that we set up in the previous 2 episodes before she got fired. This guy, so this guy, he's been defrauded by essentially by like a kind of a dating service hookup, Runa, the light elf.
Yeah, pretending to be Megan the Stallion.
Yes, Megan the Stallion. Oh, that's the with 2 E's, by the way.
Yes.
Megan the Stallion.
Exactly. I still have no idea who she is.
Neither did I. I thought I was. Here's the thing: when I was watching this for the first time, just to get out of touch with the rap community, Jacob and I are. Apparently, she's a very famous rapper. And the thing is, I thought she was like made up for like in universe or maybe like a comics pull of like like a musical act or like in so I'm not probably not She-Hulk just in general like a like a deep pull or something like that. But no, apparently Megan Thee Stallion is an actual thing. Tatiana Maslany is a big fan, which is why she was geeking out in the post credit scene. And you have the writers. I think the writers in the room also loved her, and they were kind of talking about what kind of stuff can we throw in the show. And Maslany, I don't know if either she talked to the writers or what, or was a coincidence. Like, let's just put Megan Thee Stallion in an episode, but actually have her in the episode.
All right.
So that's how that happened. So anyway, this point being, our douchey chauvinist guy here is stupid enough to think like that is the actual Megan Thee Stallion. He's got a shot with her, and the poor Pug, man, I love Pug. Josh Segura, man, is doing a great job in this show. Of course, he goes from playing the heavy for a season of Green Arrow to playing this lovable support, kind of a Foggy Nelson type, and I'm digging it.
I still like Foggy though.
Well, of course, no one's going to top Foggy. I'm just saying this is like She-Hulk's equivalent to a Foggy.
Yep, I guess so.
I mean, potential. I mean, I know she has Nikki, who's probably more the Foggy Nelson character, but still, I don't
And
know.
and, and if it comes to Foggy and Nikki, I'd definitely go with Foggy.
Well, of course, any time, any day of the week. I mean, you can't. Foggy's like one of the best supporting characters ever. He's wonderful. That's what I'm saying. I like that this Pug character is growing on me and potentially could elevate to a Foggy level for She-Hulk. In terms of like this guy's, he's a nice lawyer. You're rooting for him because I really. What do you think of this? Do you like Pug?
Yeah, I like Pug.
Yeah. I love that. He's like we have this gag where he basically Runa is really bad at impersonating people, as we learn. She's no Loki at all, and she just kind of she shapeshifts and she's just no. That legal case I was talking about. Just throw it out. Just throw it all out. As like, money's money. Who cares? And of course, runs out, tries to become Pug, and she's like, I sexually harass women at work. It's my jam. It's what I do. It's how I get my kicks, y'all.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Oh God.
And she
That's actually one of those few jokes that actually kind of landed. One of those types of jokes that actually landed because it's Pug.
Yeah, yeah, nice. That's like so Pug just kind of pokes out, and then Josh Segar is so hysterical. He can be really funny despite being really serious at times, like in stuff like Arrow.
He's like that's not me.
It's like, hey, that's come on, Runa. Like, anyways, it's like calling security and everything. It's just like, you guys know me.
You guys know me.
I just love he's like a defeated kid just saying, I don't do that. You guys know me.
Like I said, like of all the jokes like that in this show so far, that's probably the best one.
I fully agree. Yes.
I mean, because let's face it, a lot of those times they try and pull those jokes, it really falls flat most of the time.
That's a lot better than the poo joke last episode. Let's be honest.
Which I forget the poo joke.
Well, remember the guy like little map like poop.
Oh, the pooping.
The best bathrooms for pooping. Yes.
Yeah, that's not necessarily the kind of joke I was talking about, but
right. Okay, let's see. What was I? All right. Anyway, so we always have some fun Pug stuff, and also the Pug stuff. Here's I don't know if you ever. I don't think you've ever seen this show, Jacob. But did you ever see Boston Legal?
no.
Yeah, I love that show. Point being, you have kind of a there's a very Boston because this show's going for a lot of the legal comedies in terms of the tone. Of course, the main legal comedy being Ally McBeal, which this probably is more in line with. But the example that held true for me at the show that I did see, and I forget if Ally McBeal was a spinoff of Boston Legal or not. I'm not entirely certain, but I know something spun off with Ally McBeal.
The biggest legal show I'm familiar with is Night Court.
Right. Well, that's the thing. I love that with a show like a Night Court or a Boston Legal, you can have kind of mundane, really mundane cases that are really funny. And this is one of those times. There's a very Boston Legal thing where rich people suing each other. In this case, you have this. We just have just this really this plain stupid client that Pug is sidled with, who is very easily defrauded, and the person who's been defrauded by is not too bright either. And just seeing him in court over this ridiculous manner, but again, it's like we're playing with mundanity in the legal setting in the MCU, which is what I've always longed for with shows like Daredevil, which we can fully get into with She-Hulk, where Daredevil's very serious and very grounded, and that was befitting of that show. And had we ever had Daredevil in the broader MCU, we could have him have super clients or go up against super clients, which we now have with Superhuman Law, with She-Hulk, who completely deals in that sort of stuff. So we're finally there and showing this fun like superhero kind of mundanity. The super meets the mundane. To kind of paraphrase Brad Bird, the mundane, the fantastic, I should say. That's kind of what Brad Bird says. So just kind of seeing that go down the realistic, well, yeah, this kind of legal arbitration would happen, and she's trying to claim diplomatic immunity under New Asgard, and claiming Asgard's a people, not a place. Just trying to steal the Ragnarok thing.
And
It's just
it's like Thor's platitudes are not admissible in court.
real. That's just hysterical. Yeah.
I mean, which is technically true. It's like yeah, well, you're not in New Asgard.
So the ultimate solution was rather good.
It's like the only person who would technically have diplomatic immunity would be King Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Unless Ruka or what I forget her name.
Runa,
right? Runa, unless she's like royalty or some high-ranking official, she does not have diplomatic immunity.
Right. I think she might be like a daughter of a powerful. I forget if she had like a. It doesn't matter for these circumstances. I think in the comics, like, or she's like the daughter of a king of the Light Elves. I don't know.
Well, she definitely didn't get off good when she impersonated a judge.
Yep, switch again. Just see it. This is really wacky old lady. Just like just like hitting the gavel and everything, just running off. I'm like, hey, impersonating a judge is illegal. She gets 60 days for it.
Yeah.
So the ultimate solution was rather good here. It's Jennifer Walters just testifying that Dennis is just a chauvinist moron. He's like labeling people 10s and 11s, and he's just an idiot. And this guy's clearly too stupid to realize that Megan Thee Stallion would never in a million years like walk to give him a second look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, there's actually a really kind of I thought it was rather clever. They referenced the one of the original She-Hulk origins when the press were like hounding her, like when she's going to the Abomination to visit the Abomination.
Is it true you got your powers from a mob hit?
Yeah, so apparently that's what led to the blood transfusion in the comics, at least in the original interpretation, I believe.
Yep, that's what I heard.
Yeah, because then I think in the animated series I forget if it was the animated series or something where it was Doctor Doom involved, and then you had the Mafia in the original. So yeah, it was a whole. So it's kind of funny though. In a sense, you could read it as they didn't fire at him, so I guess we can't call it the same thing. But maybe think like, oh, we're saying Sakaar is kind of the fill-in for the Mafia. Kind of here, like it was a hit of some kind. They were going after the Hulk potentially. I don't know.
Yep.
By the way,
Eh?
I had a thought. Do you think, because Hulk was on that ship, do you think instead of, like, it wasn't them trying to kill the Hulk, but it was them trying to bring him back, like, willingly, he accepted, do you think, maybe?
I mean, it's entirely possible. Maybe we'll find out.
Because they didn't fire at him. Makes me think that it was just like, then again, it was imposing. It's kind of hard to tell. We'll find out. Potentially. I don't know. Could be in a spin-off Hulk show for all we know.
Hopefully it doesn't come to Peacock.
Yeah. Anyway, so yes, the Abomination parole hearing. So we have like all these. You see, he really did make a difference in a lot of the staff and inmates' lives, like Carl the guard, who's just breaking down. He saved me from a bad marriage.
It's like yeah, got Carl away from a potentially toxic relationship.
Yeah.
Like and then instead of making toilet shit, they're making toilet kombuchas.
Yes, like toilet wine, like kombuchas. Yeah.
Toilet wine. That still sounds disgusting.
Well, yeah, well, that's a real thing. That's what they do in prison. They do make they make like they ferment like an alcohol in the water. It's terrible.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I know, but still.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the point being everything's. She's basically stalling because Wong's not showing up, and he was like the lead witness that would have like kind of slam dunked it, but they kind of had to build to him and wait.
And considering that the whole Book of American Law thing isn't in this episode, this might not even be the last we see of Wong.
Yeah, because I mean he is in legal hot water. So the idea is Wong comes in, he bails the Abomination out, but
it's like you do realize You do realize you aided a criminal escaping from prison. It's like I'm out of here. He's like basically I'm out of here.
Yep, I must go.
It's like Wonka. It's like it's kind of strange when Shield isn't even the best character in her own show.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
Wong only appeared in this one episode and he's already the best character in the
I
show.
love him having magic as a plan B, like to help fix the situation after he says no. The memory erase spells is a no, but
It's like
what,
you could tell he was almost thinking about it though.
yeah, what about the mirror dimension, shadow dimension?
It's like no apparently tampering with memories isn't okay, but apparently locking someone in a dimension is perfectly fine in his standards.
I think it was a deleted scene, Jacob. But if he does come back, there would be precedent with the fact of like, hey, he's again, he would need legal representation, needs to get exonerated somehow.
It's like being the sorcerer supreme. He exempts him from law apparently.
Yeah, honestly, I
Well,
think he would.
he is technically out of their jurisdiction when he goes back to Comertage.
Exactly. Let's see.
Like
So,
I said, Wong only appeared in this one episode, and he's already the best character in the show.
yeah, Wong kind of has that effect on everything he's in, though.
Like, well, that is true.
I mean, he got an instant invite to Tony Stark's wedding when he showed up, so you know.
Yep. I mean,
Wong, you're invited to my wedding.
And he just met the guy too.
Yep.
He didn't even invite Steven. Well, did
Nope.
he invite?
Well, to be fair, I think they got married during the blip, so Steven was gone. So
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
yeah,
And that's the reason why Wong became Sorcerer Supreme in the first place.
exactly. So I think he actually could go to the wedding where Steven could not.
Yeah, I completely forgot that he got blipped.
Let's face it, Doctor Strange has terrible luck with weddings. If we've learned anything with Doctor Strange, every time he goes to a wedding, something bad happens. Giant, like a Shumagorath-looking monster, Gargantos, kind of shows up. It's like, oh,
And as Ramel Malone has put it, 2021 and 22 is the year of Wong.
yep.
Well, maybe we'll see him in Black Panther for all we know.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, we have to wait. We'll see how Namor goes.
Yeah. All right, let's see. So, and the parole hearing goes off, and basically everything's going well. The soulmates have such a Manson vibe, don't they?
I suppose so. I usually don't use the term simp, but sure.
What?
What'd you say?
No, I said a Manson, like Charles Manson vibe.
Oh, Charlie Manson, right?
Yeah, like a Manson vibe, like a bunch of like kind of a cult.
Yeah, I completely misheard you, but yes, that is exactly what it seems like.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, them mentioning the farm thing made it sound very like what is it? Something I forget if it's something ranch. I don't know if it's like
I have to rewatch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I think it's Spawn Ranch or something. It's something like that. That's what the Manson Ranch was called.
So I have to rewatch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, they go there. It's like Spurn or Spun or like something ranch. Anyway, so what was I?
It's like
Right.
they remind you of the Manson cult.
Yes, I mean it's kind of two things come to mind with the weird soulmates and the fact they're going to bankroll him like after he gets out to help him with the employment and basically help him like start a farm. One seems to be a runner with like these powerful Hulk-looking characters, going in are powered or Hulk-powered esque, like even Thor to a degree. They take up farming briefly. They always take up a bit of farming.
Even Thanos took up farming.
That's what I'm saying. It's like Abomination pulling a like apparently retirement in the MC was always farming.
Well, I mean, it is peaceful and quiet.
I mean, Hawkeye did it too. He's got a farm with kids on it. So yeah.
Well, that was before he retired, though.
That's true, I guess. Yeah. Well, he kept trying to retire and go with that place, but yeah.
So,
No, you're right. Though we had it before then. The point being, we keep our Shangri-Las away from it all. Are constantly farms.
Well, Thanos is on a different planet, but yeah.
Yeah, he's farming like a whole planet, though.
That is a good point. And we never got to see the fruits of his labor.
What do you think Thanos would do if he had like a neighbor on that planet? Because if people survive the snap and they're on that planet, like does he have any right to kill them?
It's like well, maybe they didn't know it was him.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, did you lose anyone in the snap too? Yeah, my daughter. I tossed her down like a giant, a giant stone thing, and got the.
And the neighbor's like, "Wait, what? Yeah, she disappeared too."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I mean, she disappeared.
What about a soul stone? What are you talking about? The 70s? Like, no, nothing, nothing.
It's like, yeah, I mean, she disappeared into dust like everyone else.
Yeah, yeah. It was really weird. I had no idea what happened. So you want to buy some crops? You want to be neighbors? You want to come over for some pointy alien squash?
Is this our torturing Obi-Wan segment?
I mean, I don't know. If we see Blonsky's farm, it could be. It could be. So
Like,
regardless,
like instead of like speculating how to torture Obi-Wan, we talk about what Emil would grow on his farm.
yeah, yeah. Maybe berries. Like, can you grow berries on a farm?
I mean, I'm sure there's berry. I mean, there are such things as berry farms.
Yeah.
They have to be like specific. They have to like specifically form those kind of farms and everything. But
Do you
I
think
don't
he'd
know.
be more like fruit, or do you think he'd be more like vegetable, like kind of a vegetable farmer?
I don't know. I mean, I think he's more of a fruit guy.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe he's going to take up multiple things. Maybe he's
I
going to
mean,
do.
it's
Maybe,
possible.
maybe he'll do grain.
Yeah, it's possible. Anyway, so the point. So to refocus a bit here, the point being, he's got his weird soulmates there, and it's like that's kind of like his kind of his
I,
halfway house of sorts.
I do kind of see your, like I said, your Manson connection, considering like obviously Manson was a murderous psychopath.
Yeah, and the fact that they Syracuse all the time, they get like Syracuse and like I guess lifers in prison, they always get like there's like prison pen pals, much like the program you have here, and many a
and
time you'll have women
and
who flock to them and throw themselves at them. It's really unstable, if you ask me.
I mean, obviously he had more than women flock to Manson. Obviously Manson had more than just women flock to him, but
Yeah,
in this case, Emil seems to have like just amassed seven women who are all in love with him and fine with, who are all just, well, maybe they're in love with him and they all want to be with him. I guess I don't know.
that's the thing. It's kind of unclear. I don't want to dwell on like how exactly that relationship works. It's kind of like polygamy or cultist. I don't know, but it's unsettling to say the least. But
So,
regardless, he
but like and the whole having them all like to that someone who's turned into a monster.
yeah, I mean, he broke
and
Harlem and he turns into a monster.
and did you even notice that while everyone else was freaking out when he
They
turned
were
into,
loving it. It was very
it's
disturbing. They were like,
like
"Oh."
like everyone else was freaking out when he turned into the abomination. They were all like, "Ah."
I do kind of question why they were freaking out so badly. Because, well, okay, so he turns into the abomination. We know he does this for a fact.
and like and I loved it. I don't know. I read some comments that kind of meant when he talked in his normal voice, it kind of reminded them of Korg.
Hmm.
Like the big scary monster, but then like the smooth voice kind of thing.
True, true. Because you remember, like that's definitely changed from the Incredible Hulk, where he spoke very. He was able to speak in the Incredible Hulk, but it was like very futzed with, audio wise. Like General. He's all monstery.
Yep, man. And kind of like how now Bruce is with Smart Hulk.
So that's the thing between Smart Hulk and She Hulk. I think the key is some people. I wonder if anyone's ever questioned this because I didn't really look into
For
the
the looks
comments
of
or anything.
for the looks of things, you can like find some way to exercise control over the alter ego.
Yep.
You can speak in your normal voice.
Well, that's what I'm getting at, Jacob. Is I think about it. So She Hulk was like a prodigy in terms of she was like almost instantly because her blood kind of like processed the gamma blood a little differently. Because again, it's like somewhere. The point being, for reasons, she just was able to acclimate differently to it. Where it took Banner like natural like the struggle of like 15 years. Now, think about this: Abominations had a little like roughly he's had 12 years. He's had roughly 12 years of meditation. So it implies to me that again, like if without being hunted or everything, 12 years of meditation, he was able to kind of achieve what Bruce Banner did.
Yeah, even Bruce is like says he's on good terms with Blonsky now.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the thing. So it seems like it's kind of getting credence to you could again he took the approach that Hulk initially thought She-Hulk would have to take. Like, okay, well, we're going to meditate for like a number of years, and you'll be able to control it at will. So it kind of shows that you are able to control the Hulk at will if you have to dedicate a lot of mental focus, and probably be a long process, in which it seems to have been with Blonsky. So there you go. Regardless, so he does the worst thing this is like a lawyer's worst nightmare. Really, your client essentially demonstrating the act that got him in the hot seat in the first place. So like, he's well, essentially he's hulking out. He's turning into the abomination. Like, no, 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 no. It's like, I'll demonstrate. Like, no.
But it does end up working in his advantage, as he does show that he's in control of it and
Yeah.
not breaking anything.
Yep. Yep. Again, had Blonsky was a little uncontrollable and really chatty compared to being in her control, but she worked with it like a champ, showing just how good a lawyer she really is. Like, she rolled with the punches, and it worked out.
Basically.
So I think at the end of the day, we have three takeaways from the Abomination story, from the Blonsky case in this episode. So three big takeaways are this. One, it's a big win that is going to give She-Hulk a lot of attention in public. Like, hey, she won the Abomination case, which is very Hulk related. She is a Hulk, and this is her big introduction into the world after her I Am Iron Man moment. Secondly, I think we have some parallels to being in control of your monster form, which we saw demonstrated with the Abomination. Being able to speak as the Abomination, where she is kind of in this guy's shoes, only does not have a criminal record. And thirdly, the bigger takeaway, or the biggest takeaway that Abomination kind of has with her in the scene is like the advice on controlling the narrative versus people defining how you are, like people calling you a monster or making judgments or harsh or otherwise about you. So it's like, yeah, her friend Nikki the whole episode had been telling her, hey, you should control the narrative. You should make a statement, and she finally does. And this is going to lead to, I believe, our next arc, where it's going to be the public life and like what She-Hulk does when she does not feel compelled to become Jen Walters all the time.
Yeah, I hope this is almost like an arc for her to become the character that she is in the comics.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think if I'm a betting man, I'm going to think that each arc is kind of dedicated to getting her full on like superhero and like superhero by kind of the split between lawyer by day, superhero by night sort of thing. Even though it's not really at night.
and the more confident and trusting and actually pleasant person.
Yeah, I mean, let me give you a visual thing to keep track of, Jacob. So you'll notice this is a really good subtle detail too. Is the fact that she's you'll notice She-Hulk is wearing this baggy this baggy suit. Like it's like everything's really baggy on her, including the pants and everything.
Yeah, but when she transforms into She-Hulk, it fits her perfectly.
Well, yes, but I mean, even so, it's still like slightly baggy on her because the fact that she's getting something really oversized, and when Jen Walters walks around, she's always in that baggy suit now because she has to be prepared for She-Hulk. And my point is, at some point, we're going to get the iconic She-Hulk thing where she's in like the trendy lawyer outfit like Jen Walters was wearing during the parole hearing when she knew she was not going to turn the She-Hulk. So like we're going to get to a point where we're going to see She-Hulk in the skirt and everything with the glasses perhaps as well, like in the midst of court, which is traditional She-Hulk stuff. Like she's like comfortable in court as She-Hulk versus Hulk out mid court case.
All right.
So something to kind of keep track of wardrobe with. I think that'll like really explain her comfort, but we'll see. So again, we already mentioned the whole wrecking crew and how they attacked her and how that cool that was and how it's speculatory stuff already. And then we have post credit scene that was seemingly designed to get the create a buzz. She's dancing with Megan
Megan.
the Megan the
Megan.
Stallion.
Yeah.
The Megan the Stallion, she's having a grand old time with her, it seems, and everyone's like, her boss Holloway's like, huh, what do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to something briefly just to comment on to get out of the way, and just something that actually might come into the foray later. I'm of two minds about this post credit scene because one, I don't think we really need it. It feels very Monday. Like we need to put something in there for the physical appeal of the She-Hulk, perhaps. Um, I think I'd like to give them credit here in thinking that this is them just being unafraid to lean into the fun loving kind of like there is in the comics there always was kind of the like She-Hulk poking fun at the fan servicey aspect of the character. So I wonder if this perhaps is their way of doing it. It still feels weird and definitely feels kind of clickbaity. Don't get me wrong, but I think I like to think that's what they're going for before it's like saying
I
like, "Hey, we want attention."
maybe it's a sign of her character development.
I mean, possibly, yeah,
I mean,
sure.
going from like kind of like the bitter misandrist to someone who's fun loving and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. It's like She-Hulk and her breaking the fourth wall. She would always call out how the comic artists in the industry, everything would try to sexualize her. So this would be kind of perhaps we're going to get to a point where she will do that mid-episode during one of these moments, quite possibly.
It's entirely possible.
I wonder. I mean, how do you feel about that in general? Like of them just like perhaps like even if it's from the comic, do you think it's like a warranted thing to like? Do you think it has any place in the show? Like them like poking fun of the over sexualizing the female character or no?
I mean, I don't have any. I mean, I would see them doing it in a way that probably doesn't land well, and within the like probably turn it into a joke that doesn't land. But I can see them doing it.
Yeah, yeah. Originally, this is supposed to be in the episode, by the way, but they edited out of the episode and they put it at the very end as the post credit scene.
All right.
Yeah. All right. That's the episode for this week. Do you have any theories of who the next cameo is going to be? Assuming, well, do you even think we're going to get? You think we're going to get cameos every episode? Because we know we're getting at least one more.
So we're definitely getting Daredevil.
Exactly.
And they did say tease up, and it did say there's going to be a bunch of cameos in this show. So,
Well, that's the thing. She said there were not going to, but then she kind of realized, oh wait, so far,
and some articles did say there are going to be some big cameos in this.
So that's the thing. It's just if we have 9 episodes, we have 3 down. We know at least one more who's going to be there. Whoever the villain is, again, whether it be Leader, Kingpin, or Sharon Carter, there's another one. So that's 2.
Yeah, whoever the boss is.
Yeah, exactly. So whoever the boss is. So again, whoever it is. So we have that, and we have Daredevil. So that's 9, 3, 4. That's 5 out of the 9. Well, real quick, any speculations? I know the biggest one they could have is, but they publicly said no to this. But then again, it could just them being playing it really close to the vest. Do you think Spider-Man, by any miracle, could show up in this show?
Probably not.
All right. All right. Let's see. Okay. Well, probably not Doctor Strange because I'm assuming he is in the midst of Doctor Strange 3 right now.
Helping Dormammu and helping Dormammu's niece.
Wait, Cleese Dormammu's niece? Is that what the relation was?
I believe so. Usually that was how that.
Well, I'm not doubting. I just don't know for a fact. I didn't know she was playing with Dormammu.
I thought that's how it was in the comics.
I mean, that sounds right. Given her introduction, that sounds about right because she was going to where Dormammu was, so I can buy that. I guess like has some sort of connection to Dormammu. It would seem.
Yeah.
But
like the daughter of Umar and the niece of demonic tyrant Dormammu.
I know one cameo that would be really cool that is from the comic.
If they keep that in the MCU, though, I have no idea. That's how keep it that way. But go on.
You ready for a cameo?
Yes.
Howard the Duck. Because she did interact with them during Civil War once, I think. So that would be fun.
Like, I don't know if they're going to bring him here, though. I mean, he was technically on Earth during the battle against Thanos. So.
Yeah, there's nothing saying he went back though.
Yeah, so maybe he's just wandering around Earth somewhere.
Getting in trouble. Who knows?
Did his comics take place on Earth?
Well, I mean, I could have sworn it was a little like the movie where he was like pulled from a dimension. He ended up in ours. I think that's what happened. So he would be on Earth.
So I was like you can barely even see him in Endgame, but he is there.
So that's the thing. So Howard, imagine like Howard the Duck imagine he had like a paternity suit or something. Imagine how hysterical that would be.
Remember in What If when someone started dating Howard?
Yeah, Darcy married him in Vegas.
Oh yeah. It's like Howard.
So honestly, Howard the Duck's my front runner for an additional cameo. I'd love to see Howard the Duck show up personally. That would be like the But boy, Spider-Man obviously be the god tier. That's never going to happen with the way things are with Sony right now. But let's just say Howard the Duck would be another front runner. So let's see. Anyone else you can think of in the moment, or should we save it for like future installments?
Maybe we could discuss more about what Emil would do on his farm.
Well, let's see. He'd wear a sun hat.
So,
Yes.
well, obviously to not dry out the gills.
Yep. Yep.
Well, then again, he can't transform
Yeah,
because of,
he's told that he can't transform now. I've seen some marketing stuff where I think he is going to transform. I think that's a safe bet. That might be where Ramel and Malone's "I don't trust Blonsky" thing might be coming in as well.
like he says he's not allowed to transform, or else that would be breaking the law or
I'm thinking
breaking the rules of his parole.
if I'm a betting man, I'm going to make a prediction about Blonsky, and we should probably get out of here. I'm thinking Blonsky will have to transform out of like due to circumstances out of his control, and I think She-Hulk will be sympathetic towards him, and ultimately, so again, might have kind of a bit of a character moment between the two of them, and it will end up with him being in the post-credit scene, best case scenario, being recruited by the Thunderbolts.
Well, we'll see how that goes, and or unless he's trying to get She-Hulk's blood for some reason.
Yeah. I wonder if that's the thing. I don't. I don't know. I think he took a liking to her. I don't think he would betray her. But then again, Romello could be absolutely correct, and Blonsky could be quite cold blooded, perhaps hired by the
Oh,
king. Who knows?
but then that would raise the question of how he was able to contact them inside prison. I mean, like that, when
Well,
he's able to contact the pen pals, but they were in the prison.
yeah. So Romello says, "Do you guys think we'll see Hulk fight Abomination again in this series?" Well, I mean, I would be really cool to see, and we do have. That's the thing. It's a question of how much. I think it's pretty safe to say the Hulk is going to return at some point in this series. Now, whether we're going to like do a thing where if they're ever going to do like another Hulk series or something where it's like, hey, this is what the Hulk was doing when he went to space, and we just check in with him when he comes back and gives her super suit, probably towards the last 3 episodes. So he'll probably be back. I imagine episode 7. If the Hulk's coming back, it might be 7 at the end of the Daredevil episode.
I was like, we don't even know when Charlie Cox is coming back.
Honestly, Daredevil could. That's the thing. I have to imagine it be in that last 3 somewhere because I think she had the suit in. Here's the thing. I think she was wearing her super suit when she was meeting Daredevil in costume. That's not to say she can't meet Matt Murdock before that point, but I don't know.
The question is, will we also be seeing the other people from Nelson and Murdoch?
Well, that's the thing. If he's there in the capacity of Daredevil trying to stop the Kingpin, he's probably going solo, and then he'll be Matt Murdock solo. But if Matt Murdock's there on a case, it's probably it could be him and Foggy. But Jacob, I'm going to bet you either way. I don't think we're getting the full Nelson and Murdoch kind of like cast in this show. I don't think that all of them are coming. If they're going to come, they're going to be in the Born Again series.
Like I just hope they do bring the cast back because they were perfect for those.
I desperately want them to as well, but I'll admit I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried that we might recast some of the Daredevil cast. I think it'd be a ridiculous idea to recast them, but I don't know.
I mean, the important thing is they kept Charlie Cox.
I know that's the thing. Bare minimum, we have Matt and the Kingpin.
Yep, those are the 2 important ones, and maybe we'll get to see Jessica Jones or Luke Cage.
That's the thing. Jessica Jones would be the other cameo I would absolutely love in the show because very recently in the comics, I don't know if you're reading any of this or you heard about any of this. There's a Jessica Jones story that Gail Simone's doing called The Variants, in which Jessica Jones meets basically like Into the Spider-Verse, but with Jessica Jones. She meets a whole bunch of variants of herself, and the She-Hulk is pops up in an issue because they're buddies. Yeah, so
who knows? Maybe Jen and Jess could be old like school buddies.
I mean, who knows? Regardless, I think they get along, and a PI could always help out a lawyer, so it would be there. Plus, Jessica Jones easily lands herself in legal issues, and she doesn't trust Jerry Hogarth anymore, so she would definitely be in need of a new lawyer, and I think She-Hulk would be absolutely the lawyer for her.
If Jerry Hogarth hasn't died already from ALS.
Oh, she probably has at this point. It's been years since that happened, so sure. It's been at least...
not all counting as if that And this is all hinging on the fact that if the stuff in the Netflix series happened in this continuity in the first place.
That's the thing. I mean, I think it's safe to assume, like, if Jessica Jones, bare minimum, if Jessica Jones, sorry, what I mean is, if Jessica Jones is around, but the running theory is that the first seasons of all these shows probably happened if they do bring them back. But I don't know. In the case of, because there is talk of David Tennant coming back as the Purple Man, and Jessica Jones, well, it's unclear if that's. I always like to think the Purple Man could have survived at the end of Jessica Jones, but it was kept secret. But it's unclear. I don't know. Regardless, in a multiversal capacity, you could easily bring back the Purple Man. So it's he come. Sorry, I'm drifting off with a lot of Jessica Jones speculation. Regardless, I'd love her to show up in the show. Some people think she's going to be an Echo for some reason, which I think would make more sense to bring her in here as a guest star.
Well, right now we're getting at least Kingpin.
Yes.
Always good to see more of D'Onofrio Kingpin.
Word on the street is Punisher will be next after Jessica Jones in terms of the list of like people to bring back from Netflix. So we'll see.
And as I pointed out, and as was pointed out, that they are doing a Marvel Zombies show, and it will be rated MA, as they're aiming for it to be rated MA.
Yep, that's an animated show. It doesn't happen every day, kids. Like a TV MA animated show on,
yeah. Let alone one on Disney Plus on Disney,
right?
Like on Disney channels. So it's like, so who knows? And considering what they said about Deadpool, it's entirely possible that the Daredevil might be pushing the edgier side of things.
By the way, most unlikely cameo of all, but would elate me to no end if Deadpool shows up in She-Hulk.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm not going to bet any money on that.
No, I would not bet money on that either, my friend. I would not, but I'd love to see it, especially as given the way we're shooting the fourth wall breaks in this.
And I could just like She-Hulk's just talking to the audience, then Deadpool's like you see them like pops in while she's breaking the fourth wall.
Yep.
And like you can do that too.
Then you cut to like a Calendar Girl sequence from the Deadpool movie. Dear God.
And it's just like, and she's like, wait. It's like, wait. And they're both confused by the fact that they can both break the fourth wall.
Yep. Oh, by the way, you know, it was like the cutest little fourth wall detail in this episode. When she broke the fourth wall, it was during a car scene, and you'll notice she took both hands off the wheel to talk to the audience. So it's like the idea, like when you're shooting the show, the car is like on like it's like not a crane, but it's like it's like a tow truck. It's being towed. The car is being towed to make so the actors can do their stuff without actually having to worry about driving and acting at the same time. So it's like her breaking the reality of the show.
Either that or it's a shot on a screen.
Well, sure, but I'm just saying in general, it's the idea that okay, she in real life she would not be able to take her hands off the wheel and talk to the audience. So it's like the point. It's like a show being made is kind of what she's. Yeah.
Well, obviously, I'm just saying, like, I'm just talking about the technical side, like either it's being pulled or they're shooting it on like a screen.
Yeah, those are the two ways, and it probably is on a screen. Yeah.
But of which the best one is still Airplane, where they tear that bit to shreds and it's like driving amongst like different things, there's cowboys and Indians and stuff like that.
Yeah. Wait, are you thinking of Naked Gun?
No, I'm thinking of Airplane. Remember when the general and the two are driving around and all that?
Right, gotcha.
And that one's the Naked Gun. They might have pulled that one of the Naked Gun.
Well, yeah, Naked Gun had an opening where the idea is like they're driving.
That was like where it was filming the top of the
Yeah, the siren. You see the siren on the police car. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about is like where you can actually see like it was filming the front and the two actors were talking to each other and you saw like the film behind them, the projection behind them going crazy.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about.
Gotcha.
And now that's probably a good time to stop since we've completely stopped talking about She-Hulk at this point.
Yeah, let's thank Ramella Malone for tuning in with us and for those who may be tuning in after the fact.
Thank you, Romello, for joining us here. You're always a constant. You always provide good discussion topics.
Yeah. And that'll do it for us this week as we holster our remotes till the next installment calls for the draw. Mano y mano, just plus, and us.
Come on, guys.
You know me. You guys know me.